Mario, for this kind of invitation to this conference. Actually, it's really stimulating for what I've seen so far. And to be honest, it's very tough to arrange a similar event on a topic that, as Rosanna has explained, is not really, well understood the impact and the importance of these of the aspects that we are discussing yesterday and also today. And also by going back to what Ivan has highlighted, it is clear that we need financial resources in order to try to face the issues that are arising, that are, a lot, I would say, because there is an incredible heterogeneity also within the Eurozone member countries with respect to, the social activity and the wealth and, the kind of services that are offered also to the public. It's something on which we can work, I believe. And it's something that has to be done in order also to increase the integration of the countries that has joined the Eurozone and the European Union. And obviously it's a question of investment. We need to invest in these directions in order to reduce these differences and in order to gain from the issues that are behind the corner, also even as highlighted, that has an impact on prices, has an impact on the future and on the development of the economies of the euro area, and not only the euro area. So my idea, obviously the opinion are only mine, is to find this money and to make the proper investment, obviously with the social also the social part of this, with a solution that is based on what they call the good financial engineering. Because unfortunately, after the big crisis, there is a sort of, is a big fear that the financial engineering can produce only, damages or losses or something that is unpredictable and eventually destroy values. I believe that, yes, it could happen if the risks are not measured properly or under-evaluated or the structure are built in a way that creates a financial nonsense under a quantitative point of view. It could be the case, definitely. It's what we've seen. And it's part of our recent past. But in this moment, I think that by exploiting the heritage, the experience, also the bad experience that we've done, I think that we can try to focus on some new solution in order to, I think, for example, about Italy, to use that incredible amount of liquidity that is in this moment is definitely, not used. Is without any exploitation in the deposit of banks, but also maybe directly within, the apartments of our families. So it's something that has to be exploited. It's important to rebuild the trust in the financial system. And for this reason, my idea is to create to issue social bonds by creating a special purpose vehicle with a mixed capital structure. The idea, that just in Italy, the estimate that we have, that our families have something like 1 trillion euro of liquidity that is parked in the bank account without any kind of concrete usage. Because there is also a big fear of making investments, because we have had, unfortunately, big losses for our savings in the last year due to the big crisis. The idea of this vehicle, that obviously has an important public participation, in my view, is to issue social bonds with a peculiar securitization process. A securitization process that would allow the participation of retail and institutional investors. How to do this? The idea is to create, as in this example, 6 tranches of ABS, where we have the upper bound of this securitization process that is dedicated to retail, and the lowest part, the lower part that is offered and sold to institutional investors. You know that in a similar structure there is the so-called waterfall procedure. So in other words, the risk is undertaken by the institutional investors, so by the tranches that belongs to the lowest part, are able to cover the risk for the upper part of this structure. In a certain sense, if something goes wrong in the investments that are behind these social bonds, the first losses are paid by the subscriber of the junior and mezzanine junior tranche and go on to the right to the super senior. In a certain sense, the structure is quite original because we organize the risks of this vehicle not only by working on the typical waterfall structure in terms of the dimension of the single tranches, but also by working in terms of time maturity. So in other words, the more the tranche is junior, the higher is the maturity. And in a certain sense, since you know that time means risk, at least in the natural assertion of financial markets, it is clear that in this way we have an original division of risks over the tranches that creates some peculiar effects also for the subscribers. Not only this is part of the financial engineering of the structure, I also think that for the upper tranches we could think of implementing such guarantees offered by the government or by the European Investment Bank. We make some seminal work in the past with some think tank here in Rome, and also make some proposal to the institutions. The idea is that with this government guarantee or European Investment Bank guarantee that is paid obviously at market value, so we definitely don't want to face the issue of the state aid. Everything is under the market discipline in this vehicle. It is like that you create for the upper tranches subscribers a sort of super secured bond. In other words, if the senior mezzanine tranche that is guaranteed by the government, it becomes like a synthetic Italian treasury in a certain sense. The senior and the super senior tranches are something that is also, more, let's say, secured than, for example, the Italian treasury. Because obviously in the waterfall structure, you have the senior mezzanine that receives this sort of guarantee. And so what is up there with respect to this level, I want to say that becomes like a German treasury, but it's definitely will become something definitely more quite a, let's say, a risk-free asset. It is something that we cannot pronounce no longer after the crisis, but it's still there. This is obviously not the entire story of this financial engineering exercise, because if the upper part of the tranches serves to retail investors mainly in order to, and actually also to,
that kind of liquidity funds that need some risk-free asset in order to manage their activity also on the repo market, there is the lowest part of the vehicle that issues other three kind of tranches that obviously incorporates the largest part of the risk of this structure. And the point is that the risk comes not only by the subordination, but actually, and it's not only the risk, but also the opportunity in terms of returns, it comes from the maturity. Because the most junior tranche has a lasting of 50 years. So in other words, it's a sort of a concession. The subscriber of these tranches enjoy the exploitation of the infrastructure that will be built with these with the money that this vehicle is able to raise. Obviously, there are no guarantees, and the return is related to the kind of risk that the subscriber will undertake. But let's now focus on what this vehicle will do with this money. My idea is to create the biggest logistic pole in the southern Europe. The idea is to put the south of Italy in the middle of the game with respect to all the traffic of goods and services that comes from the east and the far east. At the moment, as you know, these logistics and these goods comes from the east, arrives in the Mediterranean Sea, and then goes over Gibraltar in order to arrive in the ocean, and then to the port and port infrastructure that are in the north of Europe, and from that part they are spread all over the European Union. The idea is to invert, to change the situation, to make the north to become the south and vice versa. In other words, these goods will arrive in the south of Italy, and with new railways, with new roads, with new port, with no infrastructure, from there they will be spread over the European Union. It's a big project, but in my opinion, with a similar structure, you can raise something like 56 billion of euros without an issue, because there is an incredible, very high multiplier in the south for a similar infrastructure. And obviously there is an important social quota in this project. I'm thinking about the retraining of workforce to amplify the GDP multiplier effect, retrain workforce of the territory so that it can be used as a primary source of employment for the construction of infrastructure and to reduce the importation of labor from other territories. But also the social purpose can be identified in terms of the environment preservation. To launch social support projects encourage the expansion of the local workforce supplying the territory. I think, for example, at free nurseries, extension of school hours, reorganization of the rents market. Carry out urban and environmental regeneration projects to foster a permanent increase in the perceived quality of life, such as the creation of green areas, cycle paths, pedestrian areas, and not to penalize, obviously, the development of the tertiary sector linked to the tourist industry that is quite very important in the south. I think that is not something that belongs to the imaginary part of a number. I think that we are in the real world, and I think that it can be concretely implemented, and that is a good example on how financial engineering and structured finance can support social purposes and the development of countries, and in a certain sense to recover the bad heritage that structured finance has left in our back mind due to the past experience that actually has originated the financial crisis in 2008. That's all. I thank you very much for your attention, and obviously I am open to discuss in detail and to answer to the best of my ability any question. Again, thank you for your attention.
Thank you.